All right, guys, I'm back here with Tyler in Yakima, Washington. Hey, Tyler, how you been since the last time we spoke, bro?
I'm good.
That's good, brother. The last time we spoke, right now you're not living under a bridge, but last time we spoke, I believe you were, right? Because you had a lot of like black on your face, like if you were in a bridge.
Yeah.
With the smoke.
Yeah, I'm not really staying on the bridge really per se, but you know, most people get sent there or find themselves there accidentally from being dropped off underneath the bridge. But you know, I waltzed in there because of one night after Friday night, whenever there was like a party and stuff. It's fucking, you know, some chick that I was with said that she wants to take a break for a minute, and I told her, okay, well, she switched her mind on that, so we didn't have to take a break from each other. But when I had to piss, and then I stood at this spot, and then I fucking went to there, and then I went underneath the bridge like the guy that showed me underneath the bridge was somebody that's not with us no more. But
Who, Dan?
no, he was a different man. But Dan was with us in that same group from it. It was a different dude to start with. But you know, they don't know everybody. I mean, they, like everybody in the town and around here, especially at the gospel mission, don't know each other at the sense to where they should be, you know, compulsing and communicating with each other and shit, you know, to require dinner at the time of that. Then they don't, you know, that's what they said they shouldn't, but they love to do, and I think they love to get involved in the retaliations of like riots and stuff, and fucking, you know, if you did, then you do, and then you'd respond, you know, towards the informational times whenever they try to let you talk, and fucking, and then you try to catch them right at the sense of when they're like, right, like I did that, whenever you're like, yeah, and fucking, so then it was to be caught or not, and I won't know until after you respond again, you know, and fucking, and then I will know if it was good to bot, and if you're paying attention, if you want me to speak or not, and fucking, like if it's worth to even mark these shoes up or anything. But you know, these shoes were like passed along and they're thrown there, like they pay to get their money picked up, and fucking then they want to know if they did anything and like made them anything, because that's what would keep them out here longer and stuff. And I usually check in and stuff like I'm supposed to, you know, and never I've ran really beforehand. But you know, I don't believe in dress up made phony cops or nothing. I mean, it's different if you're suspended because the judge may not be there or whatever because it's left that way.
Yeah.
But if there's a cop, like if that's determined word, the cop means, okay, from a copy, then I'll do that and I'll be there to where it connects to it. So up front, that's what it means, you know, not because it's a promise that you're going to get me something, but it means ironically I will do, and I'll remember that still in the future and stuff. And fucking, that's what copy has to do with it. But copy is that way, what I just said. But cop, like it's a third of the copy. Okay, then fucking that means then, okay, 2/3 of the fourth half is exactly that of one, and fucking, you know, that's the answer. And fucking, they made the answer that because fucking you just gotta do one lap around the track, or you take the one time because it's less than one, and it says, look, I looked at him and I'm looking him in the eyes, and fucking, you know, one person that knows of it, then he's gonna do it, he'll respect that, okay? But if you want to try to get somebody else's attention and they're already looking at you, then you don't really need to do and have that attention because it's not good attention, you know. When you're looking at each other one-on-one to be on exact, then you should be able not to learn nothing because you already know something about someone. That would be like a reflection, you know, which is not able to be seen real quick because the shininess is called a, not a smear, like a smear, but, you know, it'd be too bright, so they go and they hesitate like this way or that way usually, and fucking, that's not what I should do and have to do and lock onto to what I do and what I'm doing, what I'm saying so far is being a smart ass. But you know, because it's to catch the bad guy from ahead of time. You know, if you were going to do that, that's where it starts. But I don't need to do that because there's a lot of people that, you know, have a lot of homes that they're trying to either give up or do something with, or they expect something of it, and that's the only thing to do is to liquidate their house, you know what I mean, if they're going to go for money elsewhere. But or else they'll just say give me it, and then they'll all come running all in the same time, and freaking, and money is what it is, so why wouldn't they just give it to them, you know?
Hey Tyler, so the last time we spoke, you mentioned that you and your baby mama had been broke up for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And what has happened since then? Have you been able to communicate with her or no?
I haven't really been, no, not really. There's no really parts of that to that, but that's because she says because some people, you know, or if not everybody wants her, get a hold of her. And, you know, we want our alone time. We want just me and her time. And, you know, no matter what, that's what we're going to get and have, you know. So if I was to do, and if I was going to, like, because the cops could show up at any time, you know what I mean? And fucking, that could be the end time of when there's freedom there, you know, obviously. And the only way that there's not that, like what he said, is if he kills himself or if he keeps doing that, and he's going to figure something else out is what he said. But that means he was just choosing the opportunity to go for whatever else was another person, like is what he was doing, like just like a bad guy, you know. If he returned to his original spot, like, okay, because in between the spaces, like, there's a big area, and that's the property that they keep looking at and shit. And this right here is an area, but it's a property, like it's something that should have been, you know. And fucking, or it's just where they should put all the dirt, because that's what they were gonna do from last time. Just all those big piles of dirt, which were spread out and shit, or done something with, and fucking, you know, they one big train that comes along, and then they'll throw all the dirt up on that one big train, and then haul it on down to wherever it goes on the track, and then fucking, then they watch it all like come undone and stuff, and then the person's left all by themselves whenever they fucking, you know, didn't even get touched or whatever. And that seems like a nice thing, I guess, but fucking, you know, that's a long ways or whatnot for they try to survive. And if they see the train leave, because you shouldn't know to see anything, because fucking you gotta be found in order to be relieved and then noticed again. And fucking that's the way it's supposed to go. But and it cannot switch either whichever direction. But if you're not involved all the way and then some, then you should know that that's not what you should be involved in to do something about, because it's still interruption, you know. It's just devoted to do that and stir up a big thing of like somebody's problems to create and then make a bigger problem of it, like disaster. It takes both people to do that, is what I think, and what I'm pretty sure that has happened to do that. Like, I loaned these shoes out because somebody wanted some shoes, and I wasn't thinking of that, and fucking. And so then they wanted to do, and she got mad at me at that for the sense, because fucking she thinks that the little kid's gonna have to go through shoes, or because the argument that was continued from, I'm not sure what she was to be upset about yet, but I know it was still what it is. But that's the part they said that you gotta then take your anniversary, which you do upon the years, or whenever it's a year, and then, or it's whenever she says. And you know, like I said, I see how important the chick is and stuff, and you know, my time's not up or just up like that already because I didn't sign that over with, you know. Because if I'm involved in it, then yes, I guess I still do that. Like, gangs are going to be punishable by, I'm not sure what you said, you know, for what it was to read, but everybody wants that spot, you know, wherever that's at, right there, being the judge of the honor of it. And I just want the girl and stuff, to where if I start with her, then I could be like let off from the good times and stuff. And I guess I did do that, but but I didn't, you know. There was no reason why we had to leave and separate, but she said you were the reason why that was, because you know, you being a judge was a judge. But I picked up that fucking part of my words to spiel and talk of, and fucking, you know, it's not that, but Fuzznut, you know, whatever his name is, Swift, is going to be, you know, a real pain in the ass, or he's not going to be, because he'll just stay put and not go nowhere. But
when you say Swift, are you talking about the guy that lives on the other side of the bridge right here?
Yeah, he's got the elderly lady with him, and so I know which one that would be, of which judge it is for who that is right now. But
so Swift is dating who?
Swift, I'm not saying he's dating. I don't think he is, but he did, because I don't hold him to whatever he did. But you know, if I was to hold him to it, then fucking, he's dating some chick named Tracy, I think. But you know, he just yelled at me somewhat today for, you know, just raised his voice because he couldn't hear. But that's how you're supposed to do and talk usually, is with that voice like that, because you know, you gotta outbeat the murmur.
So did Swift take your girl, or am I misunderstanding?
No, he has a girl with him right now, and they don't go no. She doesn't go nowhere or nothing. She's a nice lady, but you know, she's get that attitude sometimes, you know, to where it doesn't matter if they're nice or not, but it can, you know, take a woman or have some problems for you, you know, when it comes to snitching and stuff.
For sure.
It doesn't do no good to be a nice woman and stuff. It takes a mean person to do and get rid of the snitch and a bad person, and those more and more stabilities of ethnics of bends and breaks is what you're doing and adding to it. But you know, and I'm just trying not to show that that's my talent, is what I say, is that's not what I tried to do, to break it on purpose. It's just like, when I ran, I didn't run, or when he died, but I shouldn't have had it shouldn't have cost me my chick or my woman, because fucking, you know, she didn't do nothing, and she doesn't need to say goodbye to anybody or whatever, because I love her and stuff more than anybody
Tracy?
else. No, not her, but another woman. I'm trying to get her attention because she's staying over there right now, and you know, you can see up from the hill, like, because it's life-size picture, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like a boom, that's the regular size, but you know, you see, and then from here at this distance, then it's little, you know. That's a little too big to be the size of the house, but you know, as in it goes from like giants to none to less, and fucking, or else you gotta find it and then keep it and not tell nobody, even, you know, even if they put it down there on the ground for supposedly someone else to pick up or whatever. You know,
Hey Tyler, what dangers have you faced from the last time we spoke, bro?
The dangers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get them to talk much. I've gone a little bit of different other places, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think that right there is a big part of somebody's, you know, big history that we don't have to do, you know, and fucking, but people would feel better, like, you know, that's resolved and revolted at the time of when you talk on the toilet, kind of, you know, I think, to answer that kind of question.
Yeah.
And stuff, but then maybe the heads up, because this is what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to go there and stuff, and maybe different because of what I have on me right now, but certainly they probably ain't going to give the gun back then if that's what they had instead, to where, but I just think that if they're not going to be something like that to work with each other, you know, like, because, you know, that's a cop car, so what, or I didn't look, I don't know, so let's say it wasn't, then, you know, it's just a vehicle with a loud noise that's running around and trying to be something of that, just replaying, but they're replaying the sound, so that way in that city of where they're at, they're supposed to take that and look at the street, and they're doing it just because someone said to do it just real quick, but if someone did it and they didn't know of it, like, they can't hear nothing outside of there, that's what they said. And fucking, so I went to wherever I went, and I didn't like it, but, you know, fucking, then I had to do and figure out how to get out of there from wherever I was and everything. And fucking, you know, so sitting on the side of the hills, that's something to somebody else's fault to pay and everything. I know, I get that, I understand it, but, you know, and the guy will never become a bad guy from it either, I guess. But fucking, you know, with everybody else to say that the life's so short, then that's all they're gonna go off of too. It's just, you know, then people would then, I think, devote the time a little bit better than what they aren't devoting it to, you know, to where they would, like, make one lap around the tree and then they'd be all done and stuff. And I don't think that's what's going to allow the whole approval, like, to be like, hey, okay, you're allowed to. They're just going to push the erase button on it, you know, sometime when there's someone else later. And so right now, like how it sits and everybody, if they're thinking of me and stuff right now, then yeah, she said she would take me back, and she did even, I guess, but we was, because she wasn't there right there real quick and everything, but, you know, gunslinging is still not wrong, or it's not eventful to say there's a problem, because they just replace it, like if they set it up for a setup, and okay, when it's meant for the target, it stays right by the target, like as usual, and fucking everybody there wasn't there, but they were just there, like, is what I'm saying, and fucking...
Hey, Tyler, would you be okay with doing a follow-up interview in the future?
Yeah, sure.
And would you be okay with me posting this on my YouTube channel?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Yo,
sure.
bro, what message do you have for family or friends if they end up seeing this video?
What message would I have?
Yeah, if you have one.
I would say fucking to stop watching it and fucking, you know, get the more research on it by going and getting a person that was more of an understanding person, you know, because a dog wasn't that of a good thing for him, you know, like, because some talk to the TV, some talk out the window, but when they're speaking out the window, that's when that question would pop up most of the time, or whenever there's someone gazing and then observing. And so, because, you know, they got the reflection windows, that see-through window, and then you got, you know, regular unleaded types, which is, you know, gonna melt or burn, but it doesn't do and just evaporate or dispose, you know, because fucking it's been in the ground and shit, and it's gone through like how it does, like what I said. And fucking the rays from the Union gun, or the UVI gun, like, you know, X-rays and stuff, then fucking no one really thinks it works, and technically it doesn't work whenever they do it, because they don't let it work. But, you know, fucking, if you feel it how it works and stuff, then the dentist is still way too far of a job that doesn't mean much, because, you know, that silly little gun's all what it causes. It goes like that tap, 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 and fucking, it doesn't even do nothing really.
All right, Tyler, I appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, right. Thank you.